What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy P. Skip. Welcome to the best half hour of your entire Tuesday. You know what time it is. It's time to get into his course. My squad with me, T-Mac.
Hola.
Chili Will.
Gracias, amigo.
Let's do this. Chapter 13, verse 7 says this. But when you hear of wars and rumors of wars, do not be troubled, for such things must happen, but yet the end is not yet.
Not yet.
And there are so many rumors going on right now. The thing about when it's a lapse of sports, something has to be talked about. And so there's so many rumors going on around sports. I recently had a conversation with a friend, we'll say that, who gave me some information saying that he has a friend that is a high-level agent, both in the NBA and overseas. And he said, and we heard about it, but we blew it off, that the Bucks were really serious about looking to trade for CP3. And he said that they were looking at with OKC, and they would have pulled the trigger before the trade deadline, but because OKC was winning and they were putting behinds in the seats, they didn't want to risk losing money by making a trade of getting a superstar out of there. So this is what that trade looked like.
Okay.
OKC would give us CP3. We would give up Eric Bledsoe and one of the Lopez brothers and another player, which they didn't disclose. He did say Middleton was not on the table. And I thought about that. Again, I thought that would be a good trade. Some people say, no, that's a terrible trade. I say it's a good trade because here's the one thing that was exposed last year in the finals with the Bucks, and that is we don't have a point guard because Bledsoe is a shooting guard that they're trying to convert into a point guard. And when he came against a point guard in Toronto in Kyle Lowry had one of the best series he had ever had.
In his career.
Because he went against somebody who's not a point guard. Every time Kyle Lowry went against other point guards that were of elite status, because when you get to a finals, you have elite point guards by that time. But every time he's went to elite status point guard, he hasn't produced. But he went against Bledsoe and looked like a straight-up superstar.
Facts.
Which tells me, in order for the Bucks to go to the next level, we need a point guard. Somebody who thinks, distribute first, get to the scorers first, versus I can get a bucket, and if I don't, then I pass it. And this, I think, trade will be a great asset for the Bucks. Others say, but we're getting older. But listen, you got two All-Stars and two possible Hall of Famers on your team that can make an immediate impact and could change the landscape of the East altogether, regardless to what happens in New Jersey. I think it would be a great trade. Now, this time I'll go to you, Tim, because I know when I get it to Will, this is going to be another half-hour conversation.
Look at all these rumors.
Right.
Surrounding me every day. Just need some time.
I think I love the trade too. I think that would be great. I think Bledsoe is expendable in exchange for CP3, and just CP3 I think has been he's been an all-star, perennial all-star,
Right.
well-known player. But I'll even say that CP3 might even be underrated as a point guard, because when people think about their favorite players, his name doesn't necessarily come up, but his productivity has been really, really solid. And but for some untimely injuries in the playoffs, he very well may have been able to have some hardware. With regards to pieces of a puzzle, I think that he would be an excellent fit for the team. One, in what he brings to the table in his point guard acumen, He's a pass-first point guard, a pure point guard who has enough skills to create his own shot. He can get 20 points without having to hog the ball and be greedy. Right. And with the Bucks having their level of athleticism, it would be great to have a floor general like that. I think what would also be excellent for them if this was to manifest would be the fact that Giannis, while he can handle the ball, we don't want him handling the ball all the time, having to bring the ball up, right. having to expend all the energy that he has to do, have to make all the decisions, and then be the finisher if his teammates don't deliver for him. This right. could take a lot of pressure off of him and help him to be a bit more natural in his most dominating athletic positions in fluidity and moving all around the court. I think the other thing that CP3 would add to the team is a level of, maturity and, for lack of a better phraseology, grown manness.
Right.
And could ruffle some feathers from time to time. If somebody is playing subpar, he can get in their face and say, hey, man, you playing like a punk, step up. Right. And it will have the respect to be able to have that person fall in line without being a cancer to the team due to his body of work. And I think he also is the president or vice president of the Players Association. So he understands the on-court and off-the-court implications. So I think all around, that would be a steal for the Bucks. I mean, the one concern, this has nothing to do with the players or the athletic ability, is I know he has a humongous contract. And
bingo.
You know what I'm saying? He's about 164 Benjamins into the mix.
He's the fourth highest paid player in the league.
So that's going to cause some potential challenge, particularly given that Giannis is about to go into, a last year, a contract year, and there's some other folks that are really looking to poach him from the squad. And they're going to bring the Brinks truck, and they also have the coasts to deal with, one on the right coast and one on the left coast. So that is a concern, too. But athletically, chemistry-wise, basketball on the courtness, I think it'll be marvelous. It's that off-the-court piece that I'm a little concerned about, particularly as it relates to the finances of such a deal, should it be done.
Well, that's the key piece. And when you start talking about these type of deals, the money has to fit together. Mm-hmm. With the amount of money that Chris Paul makes, you could buy a six-pack of Eric Bledsoe. Right. All right. So when we start talking about money is very important. I agree on a lot of different things with this. One of the things that I disagree with is Chris Paul has been hurt every year, it seems, in the playoffs. Wow. It's to the point where we just waiting on him to get hurt.
Expect it to happen.
We expect it to happen.
Mm-hmm. He's the Embiid of point guards?
Man, he just get hurt every year. It just happens every year.
Yeah.
So that's a problem when you're trying to do what the Bucks are trying to do. But we all know the formula for success in the NBA. You need 2 All-Stars to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. You need 3 All-Stars to make the finals. And you need 2 Hall of Famers to win the championship.
Facts.
Right.
That's the formula.
Right.
Giannis is definitely that one Hall of Famer, and the Bucks don't have the other one, but Chris Paul is a first ballot Hall of Famer in my book. Mm-hmm. That will give them what you need in order to win a championship in the NBA. Mm-hmm. Now, they will be able to get to the finals they may be able to get to the finals. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals with 2 All-Stars.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So they may be able to get to the NBA Finals if they added another All-Star, not have that All-Star doesn't have to be a Hall of Famer. But if they want to win a world championship, and you look back on all of the teams that have won world championships, the majority of those teams have had 2 Hall of Famers, at least 2 Hall of Famers. Chicago Bulls had 3 with Dennis Rodman. Right. So they had at least,
and maybe even 4 if Steve Kerr may go as a coach.
He might go as a coach. He probably will. So, or just body of work, because he's done a lot of things. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying that's the formula. So if the Bucks want to win NBA championship, they have to take a hard look at that formula and see what they can do to put themselves in a position to be in sync with the formula.
Yeah, I think to add to that, again, looking at what CP brings to the team is he also brings stability in the point guard place, because you cannot win a championship with point guard by committee, because you've had, at one given time, even during the game, you've had Connaughton be the point guard, you've had DiVincenzo be the point guard, you've had Eric Bledsoe be the point guard, you've had Hill be the point guard, you've had 4 different guys be the point guard versus somebody say, I'm the leader of this area. And we've seen in sports, in football, running back by committee does not work. In basketball, point guard by committee, it's too vital of a position to have somebody play it part-time. You got to be full-time and knowing that offense inside and out. I do think if he was to make this decision to be here, I think there's a couple things that he would have to do. One is, I think he would love this style of play. I think he would love it because it allows him to go up and down the court. And everybody's open to shoot, and he's a distributor. So I think he would love that. But I think the other thing is, I think he would be willing to take a pay cut to win a championship. Because I think he's in that place in his career that if I go to Milwaukee, I know I'm going to be in the finals every year as long as Giannis is here. And if I take a pay cut for him to get his money, we can make this in endorsements now. Not just State Farm, but other things. And coming to Milwaukee, the cost of living is a whole lot cheaper. So I'm keeping more of my bread in-house than out-house. So this may be a win-win for me. I'll take versus my 164, maybe I'll drop it down to 30 and defer it out to 5 years versus in 3. Now I'm at Bledsoe money. I'm similar to Bledsoe money.
The other piece of this that's very important, and this may have been part of, look at all these rumors.
Right, right.
This may have been a part of it. That Chris Paul is saying, let me wait to see if Giannis signs a long-term contract.
Yeah.
Now, if Giannis signs a max extension, let's talk.
You got some security.
But I can't make this kind of commitment to the city of
Mid-season.
Milwaukee, and Giannis might leave. I can't do it. So if I'm Chris Paul, and that might be something I might be interested in. He's been in the league a long time. He's made a lot of money. He's the face of State Farm, and kudos to State Farm for all they're doing with relief efforts and other things that they're doing, supporting the WNBA draft and the horse game.
Yeah.
Right.
We see you, State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm has been there.
Right.
No
Excellent
doubt.
corporate citizen.
Yeah. But Chris Paul he's their face of the State Farm, so he's making money. He's doing that. Might be something he would consider in order to get a championship. But I would not have done it if I was his agent. I would not have told him, advised him to do it until I knew exactly what Giannis was going to do.
Yeah.
Right. Because again, they were looking. OKC was like, we still need to make money. So we ain't just going to give away all the money, even though we know we're rebuilding. So this probably was going to get pushed back until the end of the season anyway. And then adding what you're saying, that's probably, if it's going to happen, it's probably going to be pushed. But they are looking to get some sort of Hall of Fame point guard in to go with Giannis.
Now, I think that Chris Paul, again, the pieces, I think, matter. And I think that Chris Paul's style of play, his personal temperament, disposition, I think is excellent for the squad because sometimes, the whole is greater than just the sum of its parts. Some years ago, when the Lakers tried to put together that team to, I think, either beat
All-Star team.
the All-Star team, where they either tried to beat Boston or Detroit.
No,
Who
it
was
was
it?
Detroit.
It was Detroit.
Because it was a 5-game sweep.
Yeah, it was right.
By Detroit.
With Richard Hamilton, all those guys.
Right.
So they had, like a Karl Malone, a Kobe, a Gary Payton. Just because you assemble some
Shaq.
All-Star Shaq, that in and of itself is not enough if the chemistry isn't right. So I think a person's temperament, disposition, how they carry themselves, and what their unique skill sets bring to that particular puzzle, I think are also important. So I think that Chris Paul is the preeminent person that they ought to go for in terms of all-star point guard.
Just playing with Giannis.
And then-
Just think how much better Giannis would be playing with someone like Chris Paul.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right.
I can't
It
even
could-
imagine.
It could be because Giannis.
DeAndre Jordan was an all-star playing with Chris Paul.
See,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Will,
And all he had was
you
one
got
move,
some
a
players
dunk.
that make other players better, right? And Giannis, even with all of what he's been able to achieve and his absolutely gross numbers with scoring and blocks and rebounds, he still hasn't even reached his peak and played his best because he hasn't necessarily had the molding that a CP3 could help bring to him, man.
Look at what
Come on.
CP3 is doing with Gilchrist this year.
Man,
Gilchrist
exactly.
looked like a beast
Yes, sir.
under the tutelage
Yes,
of
sir.
Chris Paul.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let me just say this too.
Sure.
I just want to put
Go
this
ahead.
in there. You talked about that Laker team, and you guys know I'm a huge Laker fan.
Laker fan.
And the reason why the Lakers didn't win the championship that year, do y'all remember the reason why they didn't win it?
Kobe and Kobe.
Chauncey, big shot.
Nope, Karl
Billups.
Malone got hurt. He got hurt.
But he also there was
It was beef with
He
him
was-
and Kobe.
yeah, 'cause
It
he was
beef
messing with his
him and
wife.
Kobe.
Right.
Yeah.
But Karl Malone got hurt. Had not Karl Malone gotten hurt, they would have won it because Karl Malone had already went through the big ticket, who was the MVP, handed him his hat. Then the big fundamental came to town. Karl Malone kicked him out of his lazy boy and sent him packing. So Karl Malone was at his best, but he got hurt. And when he
Yeah.
got hurt, that's when they lost.
The
next
series might
round.
have been close.
Let's
I
just
don't
put
know
that
if
out there for the record.
it's on the record.
It's
And
on
you know
the
what I'm saying? And we'll season it with some paprika and seasoning salt
All
as
right,
well.
then. All right. They
but
would've won it. He
I
would've
don't
got
know
hurt.
that they would have still won it because that Detroit Pistons team was coming for Joker.
Like I said, he had took the two reigning MVPs out. It wasn't nobody on the Pistons. Rasheed Wallace wasn't going to do nothing with them. But I was saying that to make this point, that the injury and the durability of Chris Paul is a concern because if you get hurt at that point in the season, I think OKC, was it OKC? OKC? No, who was he with? He's with the Clippers.
Clippers.
He was with the Clippers and he got hurt deep in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
yeah.
And we
Against
all
the Spurs.
That's how Golden State ended up winning.
that's how they ended up winning. So his health is a question.
But I do think playing this style of basketball will make his body more durable. One, because you're running the team, but you got some good backups that you
yeah.
can sit down with. Two, you're gonna, with you at it, are gonna blow teams out, and you're gonna get a bunch of rest during the during the season.
Giannis playing a little over 30 minutes a game.
Yeah.
You're going to get a bunch of rest during the season because you're just going to blow teams out. And so I think it would be conducive to his style of play. But I think the one great thing that he would bring to the Bucks, this is what I'm thinking. Again, me. This is skip chapter 8, verse 7. Look it up. I think that nasty that the Bucks need, he would bring.
Yeah.
Because they're too nice. I think they need to be nice, nasty. Because here's the thing. Giannis dunks on people and mean mugs, but Giannis ain't going to get in nobody's face.
No.
Chris is going to get in a player's. You don't treat Giannis like that.
Yeah.
Even though I'm a smaller cat, you ain't going to get up in his face.
Yeah.
Already got on somebody for spitting,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, and it fulfills the formula.
Even though you didn't get a
It fulfills
two-piece
the
for it,
formula.
but you
That's
did.
that other Hall of Famer that fulfills the formula
Right.
if you want to be an NBA champion.
Right. And Chris understands, with this dude here, we could win a championship.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he felt that way with
Blake
Chris
Griffin?
Blake
And James Harden?
And James, I don't think he felt that way with them. I think he felt like, first of all, with James Harden, I know he didn't feel that way because he's like, I'm the point guard and you want to bring the ball up more than me. And you're not a point guard, so when you get it, it's a black hole.
That I don't know if I should skip, but I think that I'll say it like this. I think he may feel more about it with Giannis than James Harden, but I think Game 5, Game 6 of that series against Golden State a couple years ago, they had their eyes on the championship. Houston did, and I think that even if he had to hold his nose while putting up with James Harden, he recognized that, hey, they had enough to go ahead and win it because nobody really saw these jokers being able to put Golden State on the ropes. And had he not got hurt with that hamstring,
What
they
happened?
would've put-
What happened?
He got hurt. The
got
hamstring.
hurt.
He got hurt. He got
that's
hurt.
2 championships he
So
would have
that's-
had, but for his health.
Yeah, because the first one with the Clippers, they lost to San Antonio after having them on the ropes. Then they came back against the Golden State juggernaut and had them jokers down for the count.
Right.
And Game 7, James Harden with 1 for 27 from 3-point land? I mean, one of the biggest folds and chokes in the history of basketball.
Oh, yeah.
So if there was some way we can get him a hyperbolic chamber that Michael Jackson used to sleep in or something like that, something that we could really guarantee his health, I would say this would be a no-brainer.
I
If
would
the Bucks
definitely-
have to even eat some of the luxury tax, this would be worth that bite too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would be ideal for Chris's career. I think it'll be ideal for Giannis' career.
Facts.
I think it'll make Chris Middleton a perennial all-star.
And Giannis wouldn't pick over him during the All-Star weekend either.
Hey, but once again, these are rumors.
Yeah, hypothetical situations, people.
We don't know who the source is.
Right.
So don't hold us to them
Right.
as fact. Pure
Listen.
speculation. Thank you.
I'm not one to be repeating rumors, so listen up the first time. So listen, another one that's out there that I heard is Gronk is looking to partner back up with Brady down in Tampa.
Gronk just won the WEF championship.
WrestleMania, but
He just won the championship. How you gonna do that?
but he's even training in Florida right now. Because I guess he's looking at it like, listen, I'm in a warm temperature.
Tampa is one of the prettiest cities in America.
Right. And Tampa's got a good team, just had a bad quarterback.
I still like Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
Even though he shot 33 interceptions. He shot for 5,000 yards. The number 1 pick coming out of Florida State. With some
Right.
tutelage and a little more patience, could have been
Yeah.
an all-pro. But
I'm
go
with
ahead.
you,
Go
Tim.
ahead.
I'm too.
I'm a Jameis Winston fan.
Yeah.
I am too, but I do think he was thrown into the fire and he wasn't ready. I
Right.
think he should have sat up under somebody,
Right.
got trained, kind of did what they did with an Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Sit behind a vet, learn, and then come out 2, 3, 4 years down the road. But this is what the rumor is, and it's a pretty serious one because he's training. It's not like he's not even training. He's training to come back and play. And when they asked him about the rumor, he didn't deny it.
No, I can see that. I mean, Tampa. I had a chance to go to Tampa for a conference. This is just editorial commentary on the side, audience. I went to Tampa in January, and it was 73 degrees, like every day.
Right.
And coming off
And
the
that's the
plane,
winter.
that's the winter. Coming off the plane, airport to my hotel, it was approximately 11:30 p.m. I checked in, left the hotel lobby, and went and got something to eat. And in front of the joint that I was eating at, there was a green Lamborghini in Tampa, and I didn't have on no coat. And it was January, I'm telling you. So Gronk, I could see this on if he has any itch left from him leaving the game previously with the Patriots due to the culmination of the injuries and stuff like that, not wanting to put up with all he was putting up with, wanting to get a breather. If he did want to come back, at least give a little run in training camp to see if I'm really feeling this or if this was just a figment of my imagination, Tampa Bay would be the great place to do it. So I think he might come out.
No, Crunk, don't do it.
Not advising him to, but if he does, I can see what he was thinking.
Hey, Crunk, y'all know like I know, Crunk is a beast.
Yes, sir.
Man, Crunk is just,
Yes, sir.
Crunk is a Hall of Famer.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes,
Crunk is
sir.
a beast. But Tampa Bay got 2 tight ends right now that are very, very good. Young tight ends that are very, very good. So you're going to stunt their growth. You're going to have to pay Crump some money because he's the wrestling champion. I mean, it's a great idea. It's good for theater and all of that.
Yeah.
It's good for Tom Brady having somebody who know him and they all synced up. That's all good. But Crump, man, walk out on top and don't come back and go out like your boy Witten in Dallas. Don't do it, Crump.
Yeah.
but-
stay gone, a la
gone.
Barry Sanders.
Stay
But it
gone.
is Tampa, though, so I could see what's pulling on him.
But
Look
maybe,
at all these rumors
right.
surrounding me every day.
Zip it.
Hey, but this is, again, just thinking.
Uh-huh.
Maybe Gronk's not coming to, I don't want to be a 4-down guy. I just want to kind of give me 4 or 5 plays a game. But my biggest issue is I need to tell these guys how to play with Brady.
Yeah.
I can train them where he's going to put the ball at, how he's going to put the ball, how to read him.
Yeah, I can mentor these cats.
Right. And that piece, they may say, bring him in just for that. Because you're great. You're already great.
Yeah.
All I need you to do is help them read, make this connection a whole lot better. We don't need you. We may even pay you a minimum. Because because the money ain't the issue. The biggest issue is we need to make sure Tom Brady is on the same page with these receivers and with these tight ends to make sure, because we brought him in to win, because we got great receivers, got great tight ends. We just got to make sure this works.
And under that scenario that you just laid out, Pastor Skip, it might be a situation where they can get a both and as opposed to either or, where Gronk can be, on the sidelines, not necessarily a player, without even being, a spot player on downs. You just come on to the staff and you be an advisor to this stuff. You can preserve your legacy, as Will was talking about, because you are a first ballot Hall of Famer. You are a beast, redefine the position, et cetera. Gronk, you know what I'm saying? You've done that. But at the same time, you want to take advantage of all the accoutrements that Tampa provides, both in terms of reuniting with your boy Tom Brady, being able to bring your tutelage, you know what I'm saying, to these younger players, and atmosphere of Tampa, and you're still part of the team. So if you still had that itch of the guys not just have to be part of the you can still get all of that without even putting on the uniform.
Crunk,
playing uniform.
Don't listen to Tim and Pastor Skip Crunk. Listen to me.
Listen, man. Hey, listen. If the dollars make sense, he's doing it. But hey, just on another quick before we close, I want to give a shout out to Sabrina Ionescu for being the #1 pick for the WNBA.
Congratulations.
And I just want to throw this out there. I don't know when the last time this has happened, but this is the first time I can remember in a long time that number 1 and #2 pick came from the same school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I was trying to look up and see when the last time that happened. I'm not sure, but
Probably
man,
UConn would be my best guess. Somebody from UConn probably did it.
Yeah.
Hey, can I just say just a suggestion to Sabrina? Like I know her, she my next door neighbor. Sabrina, I would like to see you change your number from number 20 to number 2 in honor of Gigi. I would like to see you do that.
and she might.
Yeah.
Because the WNBA had a mock draft for the girls that were.
Honorary draft.
Yeah. So awesome. But listen, great show. Thanks for hanging with us. We tried to give you some sort of relief from not having sports, but hey, listen, this is what we do. See you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, right here, Joy 1340 AM, 98.7 FM. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook. We're there. We'll be there. We'll see you there. Till next week. Peace.